Trees are pretty resilient. If you cut off their branches, in time, they'll grow back. And even some trees, if you cut them down, they will sprout again. On the other hand, human life is short, it's fragile, and death is final. And that's pretty much the message that we're going to hear from Job today. In chapter 14, he says, "But when a man dies, all vigor leaves him. When a mortal expires, where then is he? As when the waters of a lake fail, or a stream shrivels up and dries, so mortals lie down, never to rise. Until the heavens are no more, they shall not awake, nor be roused out of their sleep." So this finality of death is something that Job sees as an end to his suffering, and eternity in the underworld of Sheol seems like paradise to him in his current state. So what Job truly is longing for, though, is heaven, and he's unaware of what awaits him, right? Because he didn't know about Jesus and about the fact that he was God would become man, that he would come down on earth, that he would suffer and die on the cross, and that he would be raised on the third day. He didn't know any of that. Thankfully for us, we know this, what St. Paul says: God raised the Lord and will also raise us by his power. That's a promise, right? And you and I know that this is true. Job hadn't heard of this, right? St. Paul was not even around by the time that St. Paul was preaching. St. Paul also quotes Isaiah and says, "What eye has not seen and ear has not heard, what has entered not into the human heart, what God has prepared for those who love him." So what we know is that death is not final, right? Death is only the beginning of life in eternity, right? And if we've lived our lives on earth in friendship with God, then he will be waiting with open arms, ready to receive us into his kingdom. And in Job's heart, this is what he wishes to be true. And he says in verse 14, "If a man were to die and live again, all the days of my drudgery, I would wait for my relief to come." So what Job is saying is that heaven would be worth the wait. And thanks be to God, what Job dreamed is what we long for. Heaven is real. The only question is it worth the wait? I'm Ricky Jones of Leaders That Follow. Have a blessed day.